you want to make sure you take days off as you're studying. You don't want to risk burning out. So my study plans, I also work in off days, rest days, maybe 2 or 3 a week. If you're working or you're in school, you want to study at least 10, 15 hours a week minimum, ideally closer to 20, and carve out the time wherever you can. So before work, if you're working, during lunch, after work, and before work specifically, wake up, shower, eat breakfast, exercise, whatever you do in your routine, get to work, find a conference room nearby in your office or a coffee shop nearby, and study there when you're in work mode, in your work clothing, not when you're home in your PJs and you have distractions. During lunch, if you can carve out a half hour here or there, great. If you have downtime at work, great. You could watch YouTube videos, you could listen to the podcast, you could do some practice problems online, whatever it is, find it where you can. After work, before you go home for the day and you get into your PJs, stay at work, in the conference room, in the coffee shop nearby, put in another 2 to 3 hours and grab a sandwich or something, just so you can keep focusing on getting your work done. Because once you get home, you have Netflix, Facebook, your phone, your computer, friends, family. They'll all distract you and prevent you from getting the studying done. If you're in school, treat it like it's a 6-credit class or more. The LSAT is that important. It's kind of funny that you earn your undergraduate GPA over the course of 3, 4, 5 years, but that's less important than your LSAT score. So why would you spend only 2 to 3 months on it? You should spend closer to 5 to 6 at a minimum. It took me over a year to reach my 175, but I studied inefficiently for a lot of it. So I don't think it should take you quite as long. I think that 5 to 6 months is reasonable for you to reach your fullest potential. People often underestimate just how hard this exam is and how much it requires of you. But it's not like anything you've ever done previously. It's not like the SAT. You didn't learn any of this in high school or in college. It's another beast altogether. It's a way of thinking. It's a mindset. It's a language. It's testing your ability to be critical and skeptical, and also your short-term working memory. And these are muscles. They can be trained, they can be improved, but it takes time. And there are plenty of LSAT resources out there. There are nearly 100 released LSAT exams. And I'm not saying you should do all of them. You don't need to. I think even just doing a couple dozen would be plenty if you reviewed them in sufficient depth. And that involves the review process I talked about earlier. You could even use only 10 exams ever, and that would be enough to allow you to get a sense of what the LSAT involves and gain the insights you need to kind of get the rhythm of this exam and what it entails.